process.
I mean, it feels like ages ago now that I worked on those. It was fun, but it was weird because, those were working from an outline that someone else wrote. So Warriors and Seekers come from a company called Working Partners, and they had one person there who was sort of focused on Warriors, and she would outline the books. And actually, when those first started, I was an editor. I was working at HarperCollins, so I was the editor on those books. And yeah, it would be very funny. So she would write very detailed outlines, like chapter by chapter, with like a page per chapter of like what's going to happen. So I'd get these 30-page chapter outlines. And then I could go through and comment on that before anyone even started writing. And most of my comments, so Vicky, who is the person, is a wonderful person and extremely bloodthirsty. And also does not actually like cats. That's what Warriors is about. So she had no qualms about murdering cats after writing those books. So most of our back and forth was oh my god, fewer dead cats, please. And or maybe they died in a less visibly horrible way. So she's really funny, and she would get it, and we would talk about the structure of the books, could we get to the action faster instead of having 5 chapters of build up. And so that was actually really helpful for me in learning how to structure a big fantasy story like that, especially with going from series to writing a big fantasy series. Although in Warriors they tend to have one hero, at least in the first few series, who's kind of the main character.
Yep.
So that's one thing that's different. Another thing that I wanted to do with Wings of Fire. I mean, I was excited to write about dragons because there are fewer constraints on them. Like with cats and bears, there are all these rules that we have to stick to about what they can actually do. So
even though they're magical cats.
Exactly. They can talk to each other, but apparently they can't count over 10 was one of the rules I was given. So I was oh, okay. But I thought it was really funny, but also hard to try and then the landscapes. There was a lot of describing landscapes in the Seekers books, especially because it was the chapter description I'd get would be and then they walk from this lake to this lake. And I was but then what happens? I was lots of fun dialogue. So that's pretty much what I would do for those. So getting into Wings of Fire, I knew I wanted to build a world where there was magic and books and music, all the things that I didn't get to work with Warriors and Seekers. And then also I just wanted to make Wings of Fire really feminist. So not that, I mean, there are some very strong female cats in Warriors, but there were also weird rules about who could be a leader and a mother at the same time, and maybe that wasn't, and I just really never, I was always so I was we're just gonna have a bunch of queens ruling this world and do something kind of different with this fantasy world. And then I also just really wanted these to be funny. I think there are funny moments in Warriors and Seekers.
Literally.
Yeah, Kimberly. Writing characters like that was really something I was excited about. I think that there's Firestar's best friend is funny, but I wanted to have many funny characters all the way through these. So those are some of the things that I was thinking about. I think I learned a lot writing Warriors and Seekers, and I'm super grateful to Vicky and those fans, because the kids who read those books were the greatest kids ever. Next to Wings of Fire fans, who are the actual greatest ever.
Exactly.
But yeah, so